Today, we will discuss about displacement reaction. So let's do an activity to understand displacement reaction. Take approx 10 ml copper sulfate solution in any two test tubes and mark them as A and B. Now take 3 iron nails and clean them by sandpaper. Otherwise, reaction may not occur properly. Tie any 2 iron nails with a thread and immerse them carefully in one of the test tube and keep it in the solution for about 20 minutes. Then take them out. Now compare the color of copper sulfate solution in both the test tubes. Also compare the color of dipped iron nails with the dry nail which was kept outside. You will observe that the dipped iron nail has turned brown and the color of the solution has faded. Why does this happen? To answer this, let us look at the chemical equation. Here, iron is reacting with copper sulfate and forms iron sulfate and copper. As you can see, in the reaction, iron has displaced copper from the compound copper sulfate and has become iron sulfate. And the displaced copper has got deposited on the iron nail, and accordingly the color of nails has turned brown because the copper is brownish in color. Similarly, the color of copper sulfate, which is blue, has turned pale green in color because the color of iron sulfate is pale green. Now let us see why displacement has occurred. Displacement occurs when a more reactive element reacts with the compound of less reactive element under proper conditions. Here, iron is more reactive than copper. Accordingly, iron has displaced copper from the compound copper sulfate. Thus, we can define displacement reaction as a reaction in which a more reactive element displaces a less reactive element is called displacement reaction. In other words, displacement occurs due to difference in reactivity of the elements. Here, a question arises: how to find reactivity of elements? We will discuss about displacement reaction. So let's do an activity also known as electrochemical series or activity series. The reactivity series is a series of metals arranged in order of their reactivity from highest to lowest. Let us explore it further. Have a look into the series and tell which one is more reactive, iron or copper. You are right, iron is more reactive than copper because iron is appearing above the copper in the series. And this is the reason why in our activity the iron displaced copper from the compound copper sulfate solution. Now, can the copper displace iron from the compound iron sulfate? No. Why? Because copper is less reactive than iron. As we can see in the reactivity series that copper appears in the series after iron. So, copper is not able to displace iron and no reaction is taking place. Let us take one more example. In a solution of copper sulfate, whether silver will displace copper or not? No, because silver is less reactive than copper, as silver comes after copper in the reactivity series. So this is the way how you can use reactivity series. Now, you know that displacement reaction occurs due to difference in reactivity level of the elements involved in any reaction, and we find the reactivity level of elements from the reactivity series. We will see different types of displacement reactions in the next video.